welcome to the Hartford Infant Year 1 parent meeting. Hopefully everybody that is attending is actually a reception parent. This meeting is for reception parents whose children are going to be joining Year 1 in September of this year. Okay, next slide please. Okay, so I'm just going to let you read through that slide just so that you are aware of what we're going to be talking about this evening. Hopefully by the end of this presentation, which is quite short, we will be able to share with you what your child will be doing, what they'll be seeing, and about Year 1. And it is slightly different to life in reception, and as you can see there, we'll talk through about the curriculum and that the classrooms look like, and we're hoping that we can talk to you about, we will talk to you about a typical day in Year 1, and what we're hoping for is that in September we can go through that and there won't be any COVID restrictions, but obviously I can't determine that at this moment. So hopefully we won't be in bubbles next year, we'll be in classrooms when we'll be mixing across. You hopefully have received on changeover day, which was Wednesday the 7th last week, a little booklet that your child has got that talks about life in Year 1 and shows them a few photographs of the classrooms. They have been up and had a quick look on changeover day, but it's something you can refer to in the summer holidays if they're feeling a little bit anxious or anything like that, and it's quite okay to feel anxious, which we always say to the children, but just please talk to them and obviously message us and we will hopefully talk to them as well. Also on our school website there is a Year 1 page which has got further information, and we also have subject pages as well. So if you were interested in supporting your child with maths, say maybe on the school report it said that they need to work on a particular aspect of maths and you were thinking, oh, I wonder how I can do that. If you go onto our school website, look on the subjects tab. If you're on a computer, it'll be on the left hand side, and you would then be able to see some resources that might be able to support you going moving into Year 1. Okay, next slide please. Right, now there's a lot of information on that page, but hopefully we've shown to you that the visions and values of our school. Now I know that it's been a particularly difficult year, and the transition for your children in September last year was quite challenging for us. We did produce a video, not as swish as this because we weren't that proficient using ICT last year. It was all new for us, but there was a video on the school website, and you may have heard Miss Reed, who was the team leader of reception then, and myself talking, and we would have shared with you the visions and values. So the top sentence there is what we really believe, that we believe and hope that we do every day. It's just to bring out the best in everyone. So anybody who enters into school, we hope that they leave us feeling assured that everything is going well for their child. So just moving through those bullet points, we hope that when your child leaves us in a couple of years' time, that they will be curious, confident, and being able to communicate effectively in all sorts of ways, whether that is talking, writing down. I know that, for instance, that the children in Year 1 have just been using some tablets in school to record their learning, so all different ways of communicating effectively. We would love your child to become independent and an active learner. Now, the curriculum in reception obviously really lends itself to that. There's a lot of busy learning time, but you'll find out more about how we try to ensure that the children are still active learners in Key Stage 1. We want them to be happy. We also want them to be able to try and solve their own problems, and obviously we are there to help, but in the first instance, what could they do to help themselves if they have a problem? So for instance, I can't spell a word, or I can go and get a phonic mat to support me. And we also expect very high standards of behaviour. We hope that we provide an enabling and inclusive environment for every child so they can achieve their full potential. And we hopefully you have seen them as our 6 Hartford heroes. So they are our 6 fundamental characteristics of learning, which we encourage your children to be like, and hopefully your child brought a certificate home over the last term celebrating their ability to be like one of the Hertford heroes. Okay, right, I'm going to stop talking and move on to the next slide, please. Oh, it's me again. There you go. I just want to introduce you to the Year 1 team. Now, there's lots of people that are working in Year 1, but these are the people that your children will meet on their very, very first day. So we have the lovely Mrs. Turner, who is working in class 3, and Mrs. Shaw. They will be team teaching. So Mrs. Turner's there all week, but Mrs. Shaw will be there at the beginning of the week. Over in class 4, we have the lovely Mrs. Beecher. And then the 3 ladies on the bottom row are our teaching assistants, Mrs. Gould, Mrs. Cosby and Mrs. Hill, and they will be popping in and out of each classroom across the day, supporting your child for whatever they need. So that could be something to do with learning, or it might be that they need some first aid, or it might just be that they just need some time just to talk with an adult. So that's the Year 1 team, and obviously they'll hopefully still see their reception teachers and the midday supervisors that are in school, and obviously they'll see me every day on the gate saying good morning to them. Right, I am going to stop talking now and I'm going to move on to Mrs. Shaw, please.
Okay, so what will life look like in Year 1? Well, we adopt an early years approach to our learning, especially in that autumn term, to support the transition from reception to Year 1. So lots of things should hopefully be familiar to the children. We don't suddenly just expect them to be able to sit at their desk for long periods of time. So just like in reception, they will have short carpet times. We'll do lots of learning through play, lots of self-discovery and exploration. We have a balance of outdoor and indoor learning. The children will work with some adults in small guided groups, as well as making their own choices in independent learning, which we call call time. Next slide, please. So at Hertford Infant School, our curriculum, we hope to have a bold and engaging curriculum that develops those 3 core skills that Mrs. Lee just mentioned. The curiosity, so being able to ask questions, being able to observe, being confident, so having resilience, being independent, being able to solve problems and reflect on their own learning. And then the skill of communication, so the reading and writing, speaking and listening. Our curriculum is very skills-led, but underpinned by knowledge. So we hope to teach the children the foundations that they will need for each of the subject areas that they can build on in their further education. We believe that all children have the right to a broad and balanced curriculum. We take into account their individual differences and barriers and aim for all pupils to be able to reach their full potential. And we provide an engaging and accessible curriculum that's relevant to our community. And we enrich the curriculum through our whole school Sparky Starts. So you might have already seen our Explorer Day was an example of one of our Sparky Starts, where we use the school environment, or we might use the wider community or visitors into school just to make that learning really exciting, really inspiring for the rest of the term. I'm now going to pass over to Mrs. Beecher, who'll carry on talking about the curriculum.
Okay, in reception, your child will have followed the early years curriculum. In Year 1, we teach the national curriculum for Key Stage 1, which reinforces the learning that has taken place in their reception years and extends your child further. The subjects we teach in Year 1 are the 3 core subjects of English, Maths and Science, and then we teach the foundation subjects of computing, history, geography, music, art, design technology, PE, RE and PSHE. We combine these national curriculum subjects to teach in a whole school cross-curricular topic style based around a key book or a key question or a stimulus. By teaching in this way, the children are taught to make links between subjects and learning is constantly reinforced across the subjects. Every day we will teach the core skills of reading and phonics, as well as maths and English through discrete lessons. These skills are also reinforced through our foundation subjects known as inquiry lessons at Hertford Infant School. Your child will work with Teaching staff across the subjects for focus, challenge or support, and will also have the opportunity to reinforce the key skills and subject knowledge through independent call time. That's choose our own learning time. In Year 1, most lessons start with a short period on the carpet, as in reception, using a variety of teaching styles. These will be followed in the first autumn term by focused guided group work with an adult, as well as independent learning, call time, using an early years approach. The children will be encouraged to explore resources independently and challenge themselves in their own learning. At Hertford Infant School, we view oracy as an essential part of children's learning, and therefore this is embedded in all subjects. Children will be paired up with a talk partner on the carpet, and they will be given an opportunity to talk through their ideas and thoughts before writing them. Sentence stems are used in all lessons to help all children to articulate their thoughts and understanding accurately and confidently. We introduced new and specific vocabulary linked to our topics, encouraging the children to use these in their speech and writing. These are often displayed on working walls, but we have many word mats and other resources around the classroom to help. Going on to Mrs. Turner, and she's going to talk about the classroom.
So in Year 1, we have 2 spacious classrooms, and we have a shared construction area, and we have a large outdoor garden. The Year 1 toilets are situated in the corridor outside Class 3. Our classrooms in Year 1 allow children to carry on with our continuous provision, much like what they're used to in reception. This will include a construction area. We also have an artist studio, a maths area, a writing area. We have a role play home corner area in our classrooms as well, which we sometimes change as well throughout our terms, depending on our relations with our topics that we do as well. We also have a reading area and a phonics area. Our Year 1 garden has a range of activities in the autumn term for children to learn from. This usually includes art. We also have phonics, a writing area and a reading area, and it will also have areas for the children to explore, and maths, or it could be science, and we also include to have a water table and a sand tray. There's also the whole school research centre. This includes books, laptops, iPads. There'll be photos and pictures, all to support our termly themes and topics, and it also supports the learning and also to inspire the children's curiosity. I'm now going to pass you over to Mrs. Beecher, who will talk through a typical day in Year 1.
Okay, so in September, we will collect your child from the front playground at 8:45 and support them in putting their coat and hats away on their new peg, and their book bag or water bottle, if we have those, if we have the book bags back in September, into the class boxes provided. The children will then self-register on the smartboard and choose a place to learn in the classroom in their ready to learn time. Each day we will have a 20 to 30 minute phonics session. This will be mainly a whole class and will be focused heavily on letter names as well as the sounds that that they make. We will begin by recapping all of the phonemes learnt in reception before moving on to the new sounds and focus on applying their phonic knowledge to writing words and simple captions or sentences in their new phonics books. Our daily reading carousel will provide time for your child to change their reading books and read with class teachers and TAs across the week. Further independent activities will also include phonics games and Year 1 common exception words, exploring our storytelling shelves, handwriting practice, and reading comprehension tasks with an adult. During this time, we will also read to the children in addition to our end of the day story sessions. Every day will include an adult-led teaching of core skills in maths and English, in addition to 3 inquiry sessions across the week, in which we will teach foundation subjects through our whole school inquiry topics. In the autumn term, there will be plenty of opportunities, both inside and outside, for call time, using well-planned continuous provision, just like they have experienced in their reception year. We will have 1 PE session a week, and that includes both indoor and outdoor PE, sorry, as well as an active forest school session. And please look out for our forest school leaflet in the autumn term. We have handwriting following the Think Right scheme, and that will be included in each day to build on what they've already learnt in reception, or they've already started. Each day we will discuss the day, the date and the month, as well as the season and the weather as part of our morning routine. And we will have daily timekeepers to tell the time to o'clock and 50:30, reinforcing our maths curriculum, as well as talk about our school language of the month. For example, this month it's French. Each day at Hertford Infant School, we have our daily assembly and share key messages, and we welcome visitors. Sometimes in the current climate, that might be through Zoom or FaceTime, and we deliver part of our statutory PSHE curriculum. Handing you over to Mrs. Shaw now.
Thank you. Okay, I'm just going to talk quickly about our assessment in Year 1. So assessment is a continuous process. So in Year 1, like in other year groups, we're constantly assessing through our day-to-day observations, our targeted activities. There's no sit-down formal tests. And then that ongoing assessment helps us to plan the support or challenge that your child needs and to set those targets for further development. We share our learning on Tapestry, just like they've been doing in reception, although more of our work will be done in books, and hopefully we'll have a chance to share these with you at events throughout the year. We already have knowledge of your child through meeting their current teacher. So we know that they're successes from reception and the steps that they need to build on coming into Year 1. We will share progress with you during our parent consultation meetings and our end of year report. And if we feel that any child needs extra support, we will always discuss that with you throughout the year. Children will be given instant verbal feedback on their learning, just like they've been used to in reception. And we use the pictorial symbols that you can see at the top of the page there. The children have been introduced to these in reception, and we'll add to these symbols. It just helps the children reflect on their own learning, see what the next steps are, and they're given a chance to go back and make their learning better with a purple pen. They're also given time to reflect on their own learning and assess how they feel they've done in a lesson using a traffic light system, again something that they're very familiar with. With their reading, we assess their reading during our daily reading sessions, including assessing what colour book band we feel that they should be on. The expected level by the end of Year 1 is turquoise, but we realise that lots of children will be still working towards that level, or some children may be beyond that level. And it's in Year 1, it's not just about being able to decode the words, it's about being able to read accurately and fluently and being able to understand what they read. So answering questions, retelling the story. And it's just to know that it's not a race through the colours. Children need to embed their learning and develop at their own pace. In Year 1, the children's phonic knowledge will also be assessed through a statutory national phonics screening check. This is usually carried out in the summer term, and we'll give you more information about that closer to the time. We'll also assess their reading and writing of the Year 1 common exception words. These are words that don't follow our normal spelling patterns or spelling rules. They can be found on our website, and we'll also send a copy of these home. But these are words that the children are just need to be able to learn to read by sight and to spell in their writing. I'm now going to hand over to Mrs. Turner.
Okay, so our aim is to do all that we can to make the transition into Year 1 as smooth and positive as possible for your child. So we have already begun this in our school at the moment with, we've been having story sessions where the class teachers have been going down to reception and been reading a story to the children. We've also had our transition morning, and also we've had time where the teachers have been able to meet all the children as well. To start the autumn term, our main priority will be an emotional well-being and a positive, safe start for your child in Year 1 to ensure that they are happy and that they are ready to learn. We are updating our usual Year 1 planning to allow for parts of the early years curriculum that have been missed this year. In Year 1, we always follow a continuous provision approach to start the year, as they have done in reception, and this will be actually extended through until Christmas for this year. This will include daily opportunity for children to choose their own learning, which is known as the call time, both in the classroom and in our Year 1 garden. This is in addition to targeted group work with their new teacher. All of the Year 1 team this year are experienced in Year 1 and or reception, so are very familiar with this approach. As part of our transition process this year, we'll be sending home a Hertford Holiday Challenge for your child to complete. This can be returned to their new teacher in September, and then they'll be entered into the prize draw. So we're really looking forward to seeing all of these come back over the holidays. Early in the autumn term, the Year 1 team also will be in contact with all parents for a telephone consultation to talk to you about your child. So please look out for further information on this. I'm now going to pass you over to Mrs. Shaw, who will talk to you about supporting your child.
Thank you. So in the summer over the summer holidays, things that you could do to help get your child ready for Year 1 are things like continuing with the reading, reading and writing the common exception words. As I said, these are available on our website. Being able to talk about the maths around them, so things like money, weighing if you're doing any baking, looking at odd and even door numbers, getting them to write for real life purposes, so maybe writing a postcard if you manage to go away anywhere, or a letter to a family member they've not seen for a while. As Mrs. Turner said, sharing the Hertford Holiday Challenge booklet with them, and also sharing that transition booklet that came home last week. And then as we start the autumn term, things that you can do to support your child would be to read the colour-coded book with them that will come home. And as I said, this is important to discuss what's happening in the story and to get them to answer questions, as well as just being able to decode the words. Modelling reading to your child trickier texts, so things that I'm sure you already do, like bedtime stories, really helps their learning in reading. Speaking and listening is a key skill. As we've said, our school focuses heavily on oracy, so just talking to them about their day. I know that lots of children are reluctant to talk about what they've been doing, but just trying to ask them little questions that will get them talking and chatting to you. And then we will also have weekly homework. This links to our learning in school from the week, and it might involve an English activity, a maths activity, phonics, and there might be some science in there. This usually comes home on a Friday, and we expect it back in by the following Wednesday. And we normally celebrate homework superstars and things like that in class. Thank you. I'm going to hand back to Mrs. Beecher.
Thank you. So at Hertford Infant School, we're very keen to support your children and our children and and our families as much as possible. We encourage you to discuss any questions or queries that you have with us, and we really encourage good communication between home and school. We view that as essential. We need to know sort of everything that we can about your child in order to provide the best possible care and education for them, and have established the following methods of communication. So you can see them here on the slide. If you want to give a teaching assistant or teacher a quick message in the morning about anything that would impact your child's day, such as a sleepless night or a tummy ache, a headache, anything like that. If you want a more detailed conversation, it's good to catch us after school. That's when we've got a little bit more time. But if you want to let the office know, or let one of the adults know in the morning that you'd like that, and we can arrange a time after school. Also, our weekly newsletter, that is the main form of whole school communication, and it's normally sent home every Friday. Our half-term learning leaflets and inquiry organisers provide all the relevant curriculum information about what your child is learning that term. Class notice boards highlight PE and forest school days. Obviously, at the moment, sort of that you probably won't be able to see those first thing in the autumn term. Just depending on how, because we're collecting your children, but we will let you know probably through the school's Facebook page or email communication when the PE and forest school days will be. Tapestry will continue to be used to share some learning, so they move on to the Key Stage 1 tapestry. And that's it. We use Tapestry alongside and in addition to the books in our Year 1. And as I've already mentioned, the Hertford Infant School Facebook page provides frequent school updates and information. Okay, passing you over to Mrs. Lee to answer any of your questions now.
Hello, see, I told you I'm not very good with ICT right at the beginning. I haven't left myself on mute. Right, thank you so much, Mrs. Beecher, and to Mrs. Shaw and to Mrs. Turner for sharing all those top tips for Year 1. Hopefully, to everybody who's listening, has given you a bit of a flavour about what Year 1 will be like. Obviously, we've still got a few more days until we end term. If you catch us on the playground, especially because I'll be out there most mornings, I can answer any questions. We have had one question through about book bags, because usually at Hertford Infant School, when your child starts with us in the reception autumn term, we would have provided you with a book bag, but because of COVID-19 restrictions, we didn't do that. So they are still all waiting in school. So we are going to issue those, but it will be in September when we do that. There is a list of uniform as well. It should be on our website. There's actually a video that I made showing some children wearing the uniform, but you can still pop into the school office. We don't have an online system, unfortunately, so you can come into school, and if we haven't got any in stock, we can order it for you. I don't know how long the waiting list is at the time, but we'll be ready for September, I promise you. Okay. Now I can't see any more other questions. I hope that this presentation has helped you. I hope that your child has had a really good first year in reception. It was a joy to read their reports. The class teachers will have access to those reports as well, so they will be able to read the targets if there were any in there for your child. And when they meet with you, hopefully at the beginning of the autumn term, they will be able to answer any questions and provide you with any support. that's because we really believe that for your child to make the best progress, it's got to be a good partnership between home and school. Right, I don't think there are any other questions. Am I right in that, Mrs. Hyam? No more questions, she's written to me. Right, well, thank you so much for listening to us. I hope you found that informative, as I said, and we really look forward to seeing your children in year one. Obviously, we'll see them, I'll see them anyway tomorrow on the school gate, but in September when they are in Key Stage 1, and they won't be the little ones anymore, as we've been telling them in assemblies, they are now ready to be good role models for the new reception children. How exciting. Right, thank you so much. Bye-bye.